Welcome back everyone to Data Science for Everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the canvas in JavaScript. Let's get started. So one of the more interactive elements in HTML is the canvas. Now, this element acts like a painter's canvas. Now, it gives us a space for us to draw images in the browser utilizing JavaScript. Now, what's more, we can erase old images, we can draw new ones, we can create animations, and we can do all other kinds of various things to create maybe even appearance of motion. Now, this is great. So what we're going to specifically be going over in this video, and maybe in the next couple videos, is going to be creating up a canvas element and how to utilize the canvas API, which is also going to give us ways to manipulate the canvas via JavaScript. Now, we'll also write JavaScript to draw static images to the canvas, and then we'll also maybe build some interactive drawing applications, and we'll even look at the basics of creating 2D animations on the canvas. So first off, let's go on and create up a canvas. So again, let's go on and create up a new file here, and let's save this as an HTML, and I will put this in my JavaScript folder here, and let's create up a new one in here, and we'll do 04 files. And I'll call this, again, just index.html. And let's go on and create up our HTML basics in here. And I'm going to go on and clean this up just a little bit. And let's give a document title of let's actually take a look here, what we want to create. Let's call this using the canvas. And the body in here, all we're going to create up is a canvas. Okay, now a couple things that we're going to need in here is we want to have give the canvas an ID, and so we're just going to call this canvas, and we'll give it a width of, let's say, 600 and a height of 600. And then we also need in here to give us a script, and we'll call this script.js. And so that means we also need to create up a script.js file as well. Now, this gives us a nice little template for us to start working with. Now, the next thing that we want to talk about here, so let's, again, so what we're doing here is we're creating a canvas with a width of 600 and a height of 600, so it'll be a square. We're, again, creating up a link to our script here. And again, we could put in, if we wanted to, some h1 tag in here and say canvas, okay, or maybe the canvas. All right, and if we actually took a look at it, it actually won't look like anything to us right now. It's going to look just like a basic empty plot. So and we can take a look at that right here. So notice it just says the canvas, and again, we don't see anything in here. If we look at the inspect element in here, we can see that there is the canvas. And if I go here, you can see here that, maybe if I zoom out a little bit, you can see that it is a square here. And again, here, if I highlight it over there, you see the little tip that comes up that says canvas hashtag canvas. Again, that's its ID, and it's 600 by 600. Good. So now we can go back over here, and we can actually maybe start drawing some static drawings. So let's go inside of our JavaScript script here, and let's, first off, we need to actually utilize the API, right? So that's what we're using, is using the canvas API, but we need to grab a hold of the canvas element itself. So let canvas is equal to document dot query selector here, and we want hashtag canvas, because here this is hashtag canvas, because here this ID is the canvas. All right, so the next thing, let's do let ctx here, and this is for context, okay, or and we'll do canvas dot get context here, and we want 2D. We want 2D elements in here. So we'll do ctx dot let's do fill style, and let's make this green. Okay, and we'll do ctx dot fill rectangle, and we'll make it 10, 10, 200, 100. And we'll talk about this in a minute, about talking about the dimensions of things that we're creating up, and etc. But let's actually take a look and see what this does, okay? So let's go back over, and I'll close this, and let me refresh. And notice it made a nice green square here, okay? So it is, its starting point here is 10, 10, and it's going to go out. And again, if we go back over to our script here, it should have a length of, or a width of 200 and a height of 100. Okay, so again, if we go back here, length of 200, all right, and height of 100. Now we can also do a couple things. So let's go back over, and let me talk about it inside of this context here. So the first thing that is actually happening in here is we are utilizing the query selector. We're grabbing up the canvas element. And again, it has this, now this whole piece here has this method called getContext. Okay, and again, it is an object that provides us the entire canvas API. So, which is a set of methods and properties, such as our fill style here and our fill rectangle. So now these methods are going to be used to draw anything. And again, since we're passing in a 2D to the getContext method, the request is going to be for 2-dimensional drawings. Now we can also do 3-dimensional drawings on the canvas by passing in a string for WebGL or WebGPU. And again, that instead of this 2D here. Okay, so again, you could use WebGL or WebGPU if you wanted 3D for 3D. Okay. Now, if we're to get in on to drawing the context, okay, we're going to be utilizing here this fill style. And again, here we want all the new element in here to be green. So again, we put it as green. And then the next part of this is we use the fill rectangle. Now, there are 4 arguments in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have the X coordinate, the Y coordinate, okay, of the top left corner. So 10, 10, okay, is right here. That's upper corner. Now, then we have the 200 and 300, and 200 and 100 here, okay? And those are going to be giving us the length and the height. So let's just to show how this works here, let's do 300. We'll go back over and let's refresh, and notice now it made this longer. Now, Y goes down, okay? X goes to the right, Y goes down as the numbers go up. So now whenever we set styles, we can also set in context styles for the line width and its line color. We can also add in subsequent additions to the canvas, such as like maybe we want to actually we want to change this up. Let's just change it up, okay? So let's do ctx dot stroke style here, and let's make this red. Oh, not this way. Sorry. Red. And then let's say we ctx dot stroke rectangle in here, and let's make it at 20 by 20 by 1. Inside it's going to be, we want it inside, so 280 by, well, we have 300 up here, right? So let's do by 280 again. Actually, let's do this by 180. So it's on the inside. All right. And so if we go over and we take a look, notice now we have this red rectangle on the inside. Okay. And maybe we want to make this a little bit bigger. It kind of looks a little bit boring. So let's do 500 by 500. Let's do 480 by 480. And let's give in another stroke. So let's do ctx dot stroke style is equal to purple. And we want ctx dot stroke rectangle in here, and we'll make it start at 30. Let's do 50-50. 50 by what? 300 by 300. Just to have a little bit of flavor in there. All right, go over. Refresh, and notice now we have this big square. That is, we have 2 lined boxes. And again, notice they are not filled. They are basically transparent on the inside. If we wanted to change that up so that this is maybe a rectangle that's filled, again, this would have to change up to fill style. Fill style is purple, and fill rec is 300 by 300, and we notice now it fills it in purple. So again, you can see that you can start to have a bunch of different examples and styles and stuff that you could put in here. And again, any artist is going to be better than me at creating this up. But you'll have a great time playing with it. So what other shapes can we potentially make? Okay, well, of course, there's going to be triangles, circles, etc. So let's go on and comment this out for now. And let's actually put this here and say rectangles. And here we'll put in triangles. So let's do fill. Well, we need our CTX first. Dot fill style in here, and let's make this blue. And now, when we are doing, for example, triangles or anything of a different shape, okay, we're technically going to be drawing it. Okay, so think about how you would actually draw a triangle, okay? It has 3 distinct sides, and then for this case, everything is going to be filled inside. Okay, now you can have 2 different methods to do this, okay? And let me actually, let's go through the code really quickly. And then I can show you what we'll do here. So first off, we do ctx dot begin path. Now this is basically saying you're going to start drawing. Okay. Then you have ctx dot move to, and let's say you'll go to 100 by 100. ctx dot line to, and then you can say 150 by 15. Now, what this starts here is this move to, okay, is going to go to the line, but it's not going to draw anything. Okay, so it's going to go to this position. So it's like taking your pencil and moving it to a position on the paper. And then line 2 is actually going to draw a line from 100, 100 to 150 by 15. Okay, and let's actually see what happens if we take a look, and let me refresh this. Notice nothing is happening right now to this page, okay? Because we haven't actually told it to end what it's doing yet. So we need to actually have it, because again here notice we have fill style here. So we'll do ctx dot line 2, and we want 200 by 100, and we'll do ctx by line 2, and we'll do 100 by 100. And again, notice we are ending where we started. Okay. Now the last thing we need in here is ctx dot fill. Whoops, not fill style, just fill. Okay, and this this will actually fill in the shape with the fill method, and it's going to actually create up the color for us. So if we go back over here and I hit refresh, notice now we have a blue square. So it started out at 100, 100. So let's think about this. That'll be 100, 100. And then we went up, right, to 150 by 15. So 150 and 15. Okay, so that drew this line here. Then we went from 150 to 115 to 200 by 100, which is down here. And then we had one more line. We wanted to go back to 100 by 100, which is this one. And that created up our triangle. Now, the next thing that you may be asking is, how do I draw in a circle? Okay, because again, we did rectangles or squares, right? We did triangles, and then now we would want to do circles. All right, well, drawing circles, it follows a very similar pattern to drawing our triangles. However, we use an arc instead of move to. Okay, so again, an arc, again, is a curvature. So you need to at least know how to go about that. So one thing that's going to happen here is we can technically reuse some of this. So maybe we can grab these two here and uncomment them. All right, and let's maybe make it a red dot instead. So we need to begin the path, and again, you still have this let canvas, all of this stuff here. So you can begin path because again, you want to start getting ready to draw, and then you just have in here the arc. So again, a circle, you don't actually have any lines itself. You just start and go. So arc 150, 100, 50, 0, math dot pi by 2, and we'll talk about this in just a second, and false. So what's happening in here? So the arc method is taking in 6 arguments. Okay, the first 2 here are the x and y coordinate of the starting point, specifically the center of the circle. Okay, and then we set a radius, okay, which is here, to 50. And remember, radius is half of the circle. So if you're going from the center out, that is half. And then the next two arguments give a starting and ending angles of the arc in radians. So we can provide a 0 for the starting angle and math.pi multiplied by 2. So 0 for the starting point, math pi multiplied by 2 to give us the ending angle to produce a full circle. Now the final argument specifies whether the arc should be drawn clockwise, okay? And in this instance, it is false, or counterclockwise for true. From the starting angle to the ending angle. So again, it's just telling us where we're going clockwise or counterclockwise. So let's take a look at this, and we can play with it afterwards. Whoops. Notice here, nothing popped up. Why? Okay, well, we forgot the last thing that we have here, don't we? We forgot to tell it to finish and fill it. ctx.fill. Not fill style, just fill. All right, and notice now we have a red dot. So we could go on and we could change this to maybe 300 by 100, okay? Oh, and then it moved, okay? What happens if we start this at 50, okay? We can go over here, we can refresh, and notice you can barely see a little bit of drawing happening right here. You'd really have to do this on your own screen and look, but there's a little bit of a drawing going on right there. So let's change this to maybe 5 instead and take a look what happens. Oh, notice it did it. So it started at here and it went over, but notice it has a lot of cutoff. Okay, so you can get all kinds of shapes in here, but you really do have to understand the math behind using these, okay? So I tell you to check out your math class or look at a trigonometry book, and you can make all kinds of fantastic geometric shapes. Again, and so you can use the same technique to draw a stroke of a circle instead of using the stroke method rather than the fill method. So we can put this back here. Instead of style, we could use, and fill style, we could use the stroke method or any other methods that we'd like. Now, the Canvas API also has, it's going to allow you to draw more complex structures using quadratic curve to and Bezier curve to methods. Now, I would ask you guys just to go and look at maybe the Mozilla Developer Network web docs to actually see more of these in details and kind of look at them yourself to see. I hope you guys like this video. If you want more of this content, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.